What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. If you guys watched the last video, you guys already know what this video is going to be about. Today we're doing ranking UFC fighters based off their fan base. I feel like this list is pretty self-explanatory. If you're an A tier, you can come over and watch UFC on Stream East with me. If you're an F tier, stay the fuck away from me. You probably smell like shit. Before we get to the tier list, I do want to remind you guys that 96% of my viewers aren't subscribed to the channel, and I am doing a $50 giveaway for 500 subscribers. So if you guys like the UFC content, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Now let's get right into it. The first one on the tier list is somebody that I'm pretty sure everybody knows where I'm going to put them on the list, so I'm just going to get them out the way just to get it over with. We got Johnny Fruit Juice in the F tier. This one's pretty self-explanatory. If you're able to just ignore the fact that he crashed into a pregnant lady, beat the shit out of his wife on multiple occasions, juiced up on multiple occasions as well. If you're able to just put that to the side and be a Jon Jones fan, you're either severely autistic or you have no morals, and I don't like you. So I just want to get him done and over with, get him out the way. I've never met a single regular Jon Jones fan. It's either one, they're an incel, two, they're a casual that don't know about the things that Jon has done, or they've never watched the UFC and they're one of those people that are like, oh yeah, Jon Jones the GOAT, dude. He literally never lost. Hey, how can you not say he's the GOAT, dude? Jon Jones, yeah, he's the GOAT. Because all of a sudden everybody knows everything about the UFC. So yeah, that's an obvious F tier. If you're a Jon Jones fan, there's a 99.999% chance you don't have a girlfriend, and if you do, I'm pretty sure you beat the fuck out of her. So easy F tier for me. Next up on the list, we got a D tier. He could be a little bit higher on the list, but I just put him in D tier because I'd assume most of his fans are like this. I've never met a fan of him, but I don't mind him too much as a person. Hey man, I think PattyMMA put me in the D tier, bro. I really think I think my fans are A tier, man. I don't think they're really cringy. At least put me in C tier, triple C, man. I think there's two ways you can go with Henry Cejudo. Either you may like his fight style, or you just like his antics, like you like to laugh at him and not really with him. So you kind of consider yourself a fan, but he's more like a little brother that you're kind of just laughing at. That's okay. That's why I would put him a little bit higher on the list. But if you're a fan of Henry Cejudo because you think he's like a top 5 fighter of all time, or you think when he does his dumb cringy shit that it's like actually funny, like you're not laughing at him, but you're laughing like with him, then yeah, I'd have to put you in the D tier. Like I've never met somebody that said, yeah, Henry Cejudo is my favorite fighter of all time. And I feel like if I ever do, I feel like they're going to fit the same profile as Henry Cejudo. I feel like they'd be a Mexican-American that switches their ethnicity depending on what's more convenient for them at the time. Henry and his fans would go to like a Mexican cookout and be like, yeah, where's the carne asada, man? Where's the carne asada? I'm not an Osaba. Where's the carne asada, man? I love me some carne asada. Give me some pico de gallo. Now that I think about it, if I meet a Henry Cejudo fan, I don't think they'd be that bad. I might be able to put them in C tier. Next up, we got, hey guys, I'm very proud to be in C tier, and PattyMMA put me in all of his tier list video, and I'm Betterweight champion, guys, and thank you so much. And we got Merab Dvalishvili. We got Merab in the C tier. Merab is kind of in the same boat as Triple C, where I feel like if you look at his Instagram and you're like actually laughing at the skits that he does, you're kind of fucking weird. Like your sense of humor isn't normal. Like it'd be very strange to me if somebody that likes cage fighting would also find the shit that Merab posts entertaining. But then again, he is a dumbass. Like he does do some funny shit, like when he jumped into the lake. Like when he does stupid shit like that, it is pretty funny. And I feel like that Umar fight kind of saved him from being a F or a D tier because that fight was pretty entertaining. But all his other fights before that, it's kind of like the same shit. He's just spamming takedowns and just outpacing people. It's not boring to me personally. Like, I'm okay with watching it, but it's not the funnest style. Like, if you're saying Merab is your favorite fighter, you're either probably very fucking annoying, like you're just an annoying human, whether it comes to talking too much or you're a very touchy person, or you grew up in that, like, Russian mountain area. I don't know what the fuck it's called, but where all these fucking wrestlers are coming from. But once again, never met somebody that said Merab was their favorite fighter, so I don't really know. But this is what I would assume you'd be like. Next up, our first B tier on the list. My balls was hot. I put Derek Lewis. I feel like if Derek Lewis is still your favorite fighter, you probably haven't watched a UFC fight since like 2020. Like you probably just gave up on the UFC. And that's a good thing because then you would just see Derek Lewis lose like 13 fights in a row. So good for you. I mean, he's just a funny dude. I mean, he can be boring every once in a while. You're definitely not somebody who cares too much about MMA, like the technicality of it, because Derek Lewis is not skilled at all. So you're definitely not into the X's and O's. Like I know damn well you don't like Corey Sandhagen if you like Derek Lewis. But overall, you're probably a really chill person. You probably like football a lot more than you like the UFC. That's not racist. I'm just saying. But yeah, I feel like most of Derek Lewis's fans would just be nice, chill people. Probably pretty funny. So I'll put him in the B tier. Nothing to really complain about. Next up in C tier, we got, who the fuck is that guy? We got Conor McGregor in the C tier. He doesn't even look like that anymore because all the cocaine and the drinking. I put him in C tier because there's multiple reasons why you should be a McGregor fan because of his old mentality, like when he was younger, and his rise to the top. Super entertaining fighter. Was literally predicting everything he was going to do in the octagon. Literally the peak of entertainment when it came to the UFC. But Post Khabib McGregor, it's kind of hard to defend. All the fucking crazy court cases, him picking up that midget that one time. He cheated on his wife like 1,000 times. Not a very good person, I don't think. At least not anymore. I feel like he probably was a good person before the Floyd Mayweather fight, I would say, is when it kind of started tipping. But it really, really went overboard after the Khabib fight. But I put him in C tier because I feel like there is a middle ground between A, him being like super inspirational. His story's pretty cool if you just cut it up to the Khabib part. But then there's also F tier when it comes to all the court cases, if all that shit is true, him cheating on his wife. His shit talking gets a little personal sometimes. So I just put him in C tier. Me personally, like, I like McGregor enough to put him like in the B tier. I don't think he's ruined his legacy enough to put him in the C tier. But I could definitely see how most people's opinions would probably have him in C tier because there'd be a lot of A's and F's. But I feel like the general consensus for Conor McGregor fans would probably be C tier. But then again, Conor McGregor is one of those fighters that just has those bandwagon fans that don't watch UFC at all, but they just suck his dick. So I can see why you'd want to put him a little lower. Next up, we got our first A tier on the list. Somebody very familiar with Conor McGregor. We got Dustin Poirier in the A tier. Dude, PattyMMA isn't a fucking scumbag, dude. PattyMMA put me in the A tier, dude. He's not a fucking scumbag, dude. This is my house, dude. I put him in A tier because I feel like majority of his fans are probably hardcore fans or at least mid-level fans, like not casual fans that don't know shit about the sport. And I think they'd be pretty good people. Dustin Poirier's a pretty good guy. He's a sore winner sometimes, but other than that, he's a really good dude. And he also wasn't even really that popular until the Conor McGregor fights happened. So I think most of his fans know a good amount about the UFC. Him and Justin Gaethje are kind of on that same level of fighters that never made it to the top, but still, every single hardcore fan knows that they're going to bring a good fight, and they're super good people. So I put him in A tier. I think this one was pretty obvious. Next up, we got our second D tier of the list. This guy might be able to fall into a group within the F tier, but I still kept him in D tier for now because he hasn't shown enough signs of racism to make it to the F tier. We got Joe Stop Resisting Pyfer. I put him in the D tier because I don't think he's shown enough signs of racism to put him in the F tier. Even though he did call Mexico shit and like the food gave him food poisoning, it was still enough of an attack on the food and not as much on the people that I'll still keep him in D tier for now. But I do feel like 80% of his audience might not like Mexicans. Like, I feel like he probably gained a lot of popularity with those statements. So for that, I had to put him in D tier. But ignoring that group, the other 20% likes him because he just throws haymakers like he fucking hates people. And he's a pretty entertaining fighter, and it's kind of funny hearing him talk shit. So I had to put him in the D tier just because of those Mexican comments. I can't really support that too much. And I feel like we know what would happen if you put this man in a police uniform and a body cam. That shit is getting turned off every time. Just as a safety precaution, I haven't met a Joe Pyfer fan, but I would assume that 80% of them are racist, so I just left them in the D tier. Next up on the list, we got Kyle Barajo. The reason why I put him in the B tier is because he's not that entertaining of a fighter, but he's kind of good at everything. So if you like this guy, I don't feel like you're a wrestling nerd or you only care about striking and you think wrestling should be banned in the UFC and it should basically be turned into kickboxing in a fucking octagon. And also, he's the boringest out of all the fighting nerds. So if you like this guy, you're probably just a chill person. Like, you can just sit on the couch, just watch, just enjoy it. I don't feel like you talk too much, and you probably understand the game a lot. But the reason I have him in B tier instead of A tier is because I feel like you're probably not very interesting. You probably only care about fighting. You're probably a good person. You're not interesting enough to make it to the A tier. I would have to keep you down in B tier. Next up, we got another fighting nerd in the B tier. We got Ruffy. I would put him in the A tier, but then again, he has too many connections to anime. So I feel like a lot of you fucking anime nerds that were sucking off Israel Adesanya probably hopped onto him. And I don't fucking like you Israel Adesanya fans. So I put him in B tier because a lot of people are sucking him off right now because he fights like McGregor, and that's okay, that's entertaining. He's super interesting, fighting nerds, that's cool. It's that percentage of anime nerds that scare me and that I want to stay away from. I've actually never watched anime because I'm scared of becoming the anime nerd that wants to get all the fucking Naruto eyes tattooed on my fucking arm. Get that shit the fuck out of here. So you're still invited, but you start talking about anime a little bit too much, you're gonna have to get out. Next up, we got kind of a personal pick, but then again, I do feel like this is the right place for him. We got Curtis Blades. How can you hate this dude? He's the most wholesome man in the UFC. Doesn't talk shit at all. Just goes in the fucking octagon. Beats the shit out of basically everybody that doesn't punch like a truck. And then just dips for a year into hibernation. Then just comes back. Super cool dude. Seems like a great dad. So I feel like most of his fans would kind of exude that same energy. Just a wholesome, probably a little chubby. But I feel like they'd be very respectful and nice people. So I'll put him in the A tier. Next up, we got the first Russian on the list. And I think you can predict where I'm going to put this motherfucker. F tier for fucking Movsar Evelev. If you tell me that out of all the fucking Russian fighters you could choose to be your favorite, you're choosing this guy, you're weird as fuck. He's the least entertaining out of all of them. He's the most wrestle-heavy little boring motherfucker. And he wins the most closest bullshit decisions ever. I did gain respect for him for taking that fight against Aaron Pico. That's pretty cool. So that does help him a little bit. But still, if this dude is your favorite fighter, you're weird as fuck. You're either really into back muscles and you're jacking off watching this dude wrestle, or you're another fucking weirdo from Russia that only cares about combat sambo. Easy F tier. There was no reason why out of the whole UFC roster you should choose this guy as your favorite fighter. You're weird. Next up we got Ian the Cut Gary. Easy D tier because I do think he's a pretty entertaining fighter. I do like to watch Ian Gary fight, but he's a cuck. His shit talking is terrible. He's just a really weird guy, and he's a vegan. So if this guy's your favorite fighter for any other reason other than his fight style, you're probably either a cuck, a vegan, or a fucking weirdo that never knows when to shut the fuck up. If you're an Ian Gary fan, I feel like depending on what friend group you're in, you change your personality completely. You're a completely different person when it comes to the two friend groups. And you know damn well you can never let them meet because they know two different people. You wouldn't know how to act in that situation. And Ian Gary might be the same way. I don't know if you guys have seen that clip of him with Jamal Hill talking about where he talks about my biggest dream is to wake up as a big black guy. What the fuck is that all about? So yeah, easy D tier for me. That one I know for sure most people would agree with. Next up we got Diego Lopez. I won't lie to you guys, I feel like half of the people that like Diego Lopez just like him because the other half like him. I get it, his story's cool when he represents Mexican and Brazil, so there's big fan bases in both of those countries. But this dude isn't as special as people make him out to be. I feel like his hype is getting blown a little bit out of proportion. The Volk fight did calm it down a little bit, but still, I could definitely see Diego Lopez losing like a third of his fan base if he loses his next fight. So that's how I put him in C tier because I feel like most of his fans don't give a fuck about him. They probably aren't actual hardcore fans. But then again, there's the other half that probably do like him and they don't think he's that good to be a champion, but they just like him because he's an entertaining fighter, kind of like a Justin Gaethje. So I just put him in C tier. Next up on the list, we got Dricus Du Plessis. This one was a weird one to rank because I can't really say you don't like technique because he low-key has good technique. It's just there's always something a little off about everything he throws. So he kind of plays into both sides of the fan base. He kind of plays into the Justin Gaethje side where he's just throwing retarded shit and it works. But also kind of more that Jose Aldo side where it's more technical work. So I can see how he can appeal to both sides of the fan base. And also he is pretty good at talking shit. He's really entertaining at press conferences. But I just have a feeling that if Dricus Du Plessis is your favorite fighter out of every fighter on the roster, you're probably like really addicted to like some dumbass brain rot shit. Like you're chronically on the internet. Not bad enough to the point where I don't think you shower often, but bad enough to the point where I feel like you'd say some cringy shit while we're watching the fight. So I just put him in the B tier. Once again, never met a Dricus Du Plessis fan. I'm just assuming this shit. Next up, we got another A tier on the list. We got Captain Autism, Yuri Prochazka. Super entertaining person, hella autism, and I feel like it's the good type of autism. Like if Yuri's your favorite fighter, you got the good side of autism. You don't got, well, okay, hold on. There's no bad side of autism. I don't mean it in that way. But I feel like you have the entertaining side of autism. You know what I mean? Like I feel like you wouldn't be the type to sit halfway through the fights and then tell me to turn the brightness of the volume down because you're being overstimulated. And I feel like Yuri's still in that in-between where he's not popular enough to get bandwagon fans, but he's also not irrelevant enough to the point where nobody knows him. He's in that good middle ground where I feel like fans aren't overrating him. They know exactly what type of fighter that he is, and they like him for that. So to me, that makes his fan base A tier. Next up on the list, we got the group that Joe Pyfer might end up being in a few years. We got the Trump Trio. Me, personally, I'd put these guys in F tier because Bo Nickel, boring as fuck. He was humble for like 2 seconds, and then now he's not anymore after that loss. Colby Covington, just annoying as fuck. It was cool when you were good at fighting, but now you're not good anymore, and you're just talking shit for no reason. You can't win a fucking fight anymore. And then Sean Strickland, like, the jig is up. Here's the fucking thing, dude. I'm gonna go to war for you fucking guys. And then throws 3 punches in the round. So these guys are an F tier. The only person I can see grow out of this shit, once again, is Sean Strickland, but Bo Nickel, no matter what the fuck he does in his career, he's already annoyed me so much in these first 2-3 years that I will always dislike this dude. And Colby Covington, I feel like everybody's kind of on the same page with him. Yeah, it was funny and cool at first, but like, it's not cool anymore. Just be yourself, dude. You seem like a cool guy if you're just being yourself. But you took shit too far when he said the stuff about Leon. Now it's just weird at this point. So yeah, these guys are F tier for me. I know these guys might be A tier for some people, but me personally, I have these guys in F tier. Next up on the list, we got the Autistic Elf. I won't lie, I low-key put him in D tier just because I like Bryce Mitchell a lot. And he was kind of overdoing it during fight week, trying to get the fans on his side. But I feel like for now, if you're still a fan of him after that whole Bryce Mitchell situation, you're probably the type of person that doesn't have an opinion on everything. You just base your opinion off of what is politically right at the moment. So I just put you guys in D tier. I feel like most of you guys are NPCs. Or you're Brazilian and you like the fighting nerds, so you guys could be a little bit higher. But for the most part, I feel like the average fan is in D tier. Like if you're going to a UFC press conference and you're barking when this dude tells you to bark, you're weird. So that's going to land him in D tier for me. Next up, we got another obvious A tier. Turn it up. It is what it is, brother. We got Max Holloway. This one was pretty self-explanatory. If you like Max Holloway, you're probably a nice person. You might be an OG too. He's been in the UFC for a hot minute and he's still pretty young. Never has a boring fight. Never talks too much shit to the point where it gets personal. Super nice guy. He's a little bit corny sometimes, but it's the wholesome type of corny. It's not the corny where you kind of want to cringe at him and stay away from him. It's corny where like you would just laugh, you know? He's just a wholesome dude. Easy A tier for me. I feel like if Max Holloway is your favorite fighter, you're probably a super down-to-earth person, pretty chill. You might suck off boxing a little too much, but that's alright. We can put that behind us. Next up, we got Max Holloway's partner in crime. We got Alexander Volkanovski. He probably has the best fan base other than majority of Charles Oliveira's fans, but we'll get into that later. Super wholesome, down-to-earth, not a sore loser, not a sore winner, can cook, doesn't do too much for the camera, doesn't talk too much shit, humble. You can't say enough good things about this guy. And also, I feel like if you chose Alexander Volkanovski to be your favorite fighter during the era that he fights in, other than like the Sean O'Malley's or the Israel Adesanyas of the world, you're probably a pretty good down-to-earth person. So therefore, easy A tier, probably the best fan base in the UFC. Next up, we got Michael Might Be Racist Chandler. I put him in C tier because I feel like his fan base is completely split in half. Either there's the A tier who just likes him because of his fight style, he's a super entertaining fighter, and then there's the F tier who genuinely watches him for motivation and likes him as a person, which is okay. Michael Chandler does have some pretty good traits, but there's the other side of things where he does cheat during fights. He has a weird obsession with black babies, and the motivational shit gets a little bit out of hand. Like, don't get me wrong, I love happy people, I love people that want to motivate other people, but I feel like every time we see somebody take it to a certain extent, they either, one, end up becoming a psychopath, or two, they end up having a crazy secret that gets exposed like a few years later after they die. So I just put him in C tier because I feel like the F tier part of the fan base is so fucking annoying. It'd be a Saturday night, you know you gotta sit through Blanchfield versus Macy Barbara, and then you'd have this dude saying, oh, what'd you guys accomplish today? Oh, not enough, you guys gotta grind a little bit more. Shut the fuck up, dude. All you did was look up what a Roth IRA is, and now you think you're going to be a millionaire by 21. Stop it. You're weird. Next up, we got a guy I kind of already talked about a little bit, and he's kind of climbing up a little bit because he's getting a little better, but I think he's still in F tier for now. We got Israel Adesanya. You guys are annoying as shit. It's either the anime side, or it's the, oh my god, he's the best middleweight of all time. No, the fuck he's not. Or it's the, oh, he's actually 2-2 with Alex Pereira. If you watch the kickboxing fight, they actually, that fight should have went to Israel. Oh my god, you guys are annoying as hell. But recently, Israel has been kind of like cleaning up his image, training with Sean O'Malley, training with, I think it was like Mighty Mouse as well. It looks like he's starting to be more normal now and not putting up that act of like, oh, I'm a cool guy and I'm not a fucking nerd weirdo. Like, yes, you are a nerd weirdo. Act like it. That's the thing. If Israel Adesanya didn't touch that dog and he just acted like himself for his whole UFC career and he didn't like put up the acts and shit, I would like him a lot. I'd low-key probably have him in like B tier because, I mean, he would still have the anime fan, so I can't put him in A tier. But yeah, other than that, like him not acting like himself and him just taking this anime persona a little too far, I don't think he's that bad of a person. The dog shit was weird, obviously, but if you ignore some of those things, I don't feel like he's that bad of a person. But it's just he did it for too long, and he put up a front for too long, and he did that weird shit, like acting like he was broke. That was weird as fuck, too. Yeah, never mind. He's definitely an F tier. That shit was weird as hell. If you're a fan of this guy, you probably think your life's a fucking anime. You fucking practice, like, Sharingan symbols and shit. You probably learned half of the fighting that you know from a manga or, like, an anime. You're a little too weird for me, or you're a little bandwagon, so F tier for me. Next up, we got another B tier on the list. We got Jose Aldo. You might be wondering why I don't have him in A tier. For the most part, all of Jose Aldo's fans are pretty good people. They're pretty chill people. But I just don't like the small percentage of them that just completely ignores that Jose Aldo can be beaten by just holding him against the cage. I feel like people don't talk about that enough. This dude literally lost multiple fights because people just held him against the cage. Don't get me wrong, his striking, especially his body shots, are some of the most beautiful shit I've ever seen in my life. But let's not act like this dude is invincible and that if he was in his prime, he'd be able to beat Volkanovski and all these other dudes. Like, no, he would have still lost to the same dudes he lost to currently. Maybe not aiming as a hobby if he didn't just give up in the third round. But yeah, that's the only reason why I'd have them in B tier, is because they're just kind of stuck up and they swear this guy's so much better than he really is. Definitely a top 10 fighter of all time, but it's time that we take him out the top 5. He's not a top 5 fighter of all time. Next up, we got Bryce Mitchell, brother. Did you guys know that the first tier list ever made was made by the Jews and they were going to pick which country they were going to commit genocide in first? He's a little crazy. I feel like he might have a little bit of racist fans on his side too, but he's bearable and he's funny as fuck. And he has a pretty fun fight style too. So I put him in C tier. Low-key should be in D or F, but I put him up to C tier because I feel like I could be friends with most of Bryce Mitchell's fans. Some of y'all might be overthinking shit a little bit too much, but a good percentage of you guys, I feel like, question shit that needs to be questioned. So I put you guys in C tier. I won't lie. He probably should be in D or F tier. He says some crazy ass shit. But I feel like the people that pulled through and stuck through with Bryce, there is a percentage of them that are weird as fuck. And they're definitely an F tier. There's another side of the fans that saw that Gene Silva was doing just a little too much. And you guys can see that Bryce Mitchell is a little retarded. And maybe he just needs a little bit more guidance in his life. Like, I don't feel like Bryce Mitchell is the way he is because he wants to be this way. I just feel like he was probably raised a little differently than most of us, so he doesn't understand things. Or maybe he does understand things and he knows more than us. So, I put him in C tier. Next up, we got Shavkat Rakhmonov. I have him in D tier because I feel like he has the same amount of dick suckers as Diego Lopez, but he also has those dudes that overhype him just like Jose Aldo. So I had to put him in D tier. I like the way he fights. I think he's an interesting fighter. People overhype the hell out of him. So I feel like if he's your favorite fighter, you probably blow out of proportion how good he is. And that'd be really annoying. So I really wouldn't want to have you over, especially if it's a Shavkat fight week. You just be talking about him the whole time. I'm not really trying to hear that. Once again, he's not a bad fighter by any means, but I feel like if we're watching a fight card together, I'd have to tell you to zip it up when you're done a few times throughout the night. So he's a D tier for me. Next up, we got Charles Oliveira, brother. Eliminado. We got Charles Oliveira in the A tier. Same reason for the Volkanovski fans, just wholesome, good people. Everybody just wants to see this guy win because of everything he's been through. But there is that small percentage of Oliveira fans that are really annoying, but I don't think it's enough to put him in B tier. I really only think it's like 5% of his fan base. They're just really loud. So it seems like it's more. But I feel like most of his fan base, they're just wholesome people. They just want to see him win. But it's the same thing for the Volkanovski fans. Charles never really talks shit. Super humble dude. Nice guy. So I feel like his fans would kind of reciprocate that same energy. So I'll put him in the A tier. Next up, we got JDM. JDM kind of falls into the same category as Dustin Poirier. Like, I feel like their careers are going to be kind of similar. Obviously, JDM got the belt. Dustin Poirier never got to the belt. But other than that, I feel like their careers are going to be pretty similar, like their fan bases. But the percentage of his fans that overrate him is a little too high for me to put him in the A tier. And there's a lot of new bandwagon fans, so I had to just minus him to the B tier. But honestly, if the bandwagons fan went away and we only had the delusional ones, he'd probably be an A tier. But just because of the bandwagon fans, I had to bring him down to the B tier. But I do feel like out of all the fighters on the list, JDM would probably have some of the funnier fans. Because JDM doesn't talk too much, but when he does, it's pretty funny. So majority of JDM fans, you're still invited to the watch party. Next up in F tier, we got a cancer to the sport. Mario Batista. I don't have to say shit. If this dude's your favorite fighter, I deadass think you might be a fucking cockroach. Like, when you look in the mirror, there's no way you don't throw up every time you do so. You're a weird motherfucker. You probably smell like cheddar cheese. You don't take showers before you go outside. When you're going to a fancy dinner with your mom, you probably put on Axe body spray. You're weird, you're disgusting, and you need mental help. The last fighter that I'm ranking on the list that's not part of a group is Alex Pereira. Literally the exact same thing for the JDM fans, but the percentage of bandwagon fans that he has is a lot higher than JDM fans. A lot of people just hopped on the Alex Pereira bandwagon after he beat Israel Adesanya because people were turning on Israel Adesanya for being boring as fuck. But Alex does have a lot more delusional fans than JDM. A lot of them thought that he won the Magomed fight. I don't understand how the fuck you could score that to Alex. And they're also delusional in the sense where they think it's Magomed's fault for making that fight boring. No, it wasn't. Alex wasn't throwing shit. It's equally Alex's fault as Uncle I's fault for that fight being boring. But they hate to admit that shit. So I put him in the B tier because I feel like majority of them are bearable. But the ones that aren't bearable are probably extremely fucking annoying. You know damn well they say, Shama! Shama no Shama! Way too damn much. Whenever he does his walkout, they probably walk across the TV doing his little walkout thing with the bow and arrow too. Just pretty big weirdos, so I have him in the B tier. So for the last two, I actually grouped up some fighters because they are in the same group. Their fans do kind of vary, but you'll see what I mean once I reveal them. The first group is the Russians and Belal Muhammad. I left Movsar out the group because he genuinely is disgusting. Belal, I have him in the F tier just because, yeah, he's fucking weird. Yeah, he's kind of annoying, but there are some good aspects of him. Like, he is kind of funny when he does talk shit. His fight style, yeah, it's boring, but it is pretty impressive. But I had to put him in F tier because how is this dude your favorite fighter? Like, there's something wrong with you. Like, you like sniffing nuts if this dude is your favorite fighter. Or you're from Chicago. But that's not enough for me to put him in B tier. Like, you really like sniffing nuts. So I'll put him in the F tier. Uncle Ive, he does have better striking and he is pretty funny. So I'll put him in the D tier. Once again, don't understand why he'd be your favorite fighter unless you are a Russian weirdo. And then last we got Islam Makhachev. I put him in the B tier because he is the most entertaining out of all of them. He is the most well-rounded. He is the best fighter out of all of them. But then again, the majority of his fan base are from Russia. They're fucking annoying. They swear combat sambo is the only thing that matters in the UFC, and that striking isn't entertaining, it's only grappling. So I had to put him in the B tier. He does have a good amount of American fans. His fan base is growing. It's not just those Russian weirdos anymore, because he is an actual entertaining fighter. But just because of them, I can't put him in the A tier. I had to leave him in the B tier. Last but not least, the last group is a group of my favorite fighters. I put two of them in the C tier because, yes, I can admit, Some of Peyton Talbot's fans are weird as fuck. Some of Sean O'Malley's fans are 12-year-olds. I understand that. I'll admit that. But I'm not one of them. I promise I'm not 12, and I promise I don't listen to Frank Ocean 24/7. Yes, Biba Doobie might have been my most listened to artist last year, but I swear I'm not a weirdo who thinks he's edgy and is doing too much. In my personal opinion, I don't think Peyton Talbot does too much. I feel like he's genuinely being himself. He's a super entertaining fighter, very entertaining guy. I would personally put him in A tier if everybody else was just like me, because I'm the coolest guy on earth. But I do know there's a section of fans that haven't watched a UFC fight ever in their life. They just saw an edit of this guy and started sucking his cock. So I'll admit it, I'll put him in C tier. Sean O'Malley, same thing. People that don't watch the fucking UFC just saw an edit of this dude. Oh my god, this guy hangs out with the Nelk boys and he colored his hair. He's super cool. Yeah, you're fucking weird. Your personality is probably online gambling and zins. So I understand it. But for me personally, I never liked the whole Sean O'Malley antics when he tries to act like somebody that he's not. I like this new Sean O'Malley where he's being himself. He's not doing too much. He's not overly talking shit. He's just being himself. I love his striking. I feel like he has some of the best striking in the UFC. For me personally, he's an A tier, but I know there's that other half of the fan base that I can't put him above C tier. And then I feel like for the top three, I don't really need to defend that shit other than Kevin Holland. But I feel like at this point, Kevin Holland fans know exactly what the fuck they're going to get when it comes to a Kevin Holland fight. If he tries, he has a pretty good chance of winning that fight. If he doesn't try, he's going to get demolished and then probably blame it on some bullshit. But I feel like Kevin Holland fans are like Derrick Rose fans. There's so much potential, but they just unfortunately can't tap into it. Once again, I like Kevin because him talking in the cage is funny as hell, and the way he fights is really entertaining to me. Manel Cap, entertaining as fuck on the mic, in the cage. He's my personal favorite flyweight. I will suck off Manel Cap and Dan Hooker till the day I die. Dan Hooker has my favorite fight of all time with Dustin Poirier. He's a super funny dude as well. Doesn't do the extra shit for the camera. Not a super popular fighter, so majority of his fans aren't casuals. Same thing with Manel Cap. So that's why I have those guys in the A tier. So once again, if you guys enjoyed this video and you want to join the giveaway, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below. And click the video you see on screen right now or Mario Batista is going to be under your bed at night.